what you need to know this morning begins with running back news galore, and we're going to start with Alvin Kamara. There is, Chris, and you're hearing it, I'm hearing it, I'm reading it, I'm seeing it, I'm hearing from different people that I know. All of a sudden, right, there was nothing about Alvin Kamara. All of a sudden, it's crazy. Like, it's everywhere. Like, and it's a ping pong of different rumors and reports, and they're willing to trade him. Well, actually, a couple of nights ago, they started making calls in an effort to shop him, and I believe it has nothing to do with trying to trade him and everything to do with demonstrating to Kamara that no one else is going to pay him what the Saints are willing to pay him, because a new team would also have to give up enough to placate the Saints to make the trade happen. So a trade is not going to happen. The market just isn't where Alvin Kamara wants it to be. The Saints, I think, are moving toward getting a deal done. Kamara is moving toward compromising. Here's the problem. Once Christian McCaffrey got $16 million a year,
that's right,
that sent everything into a tizzy for Alvin Kamara, because the Saints have long believed that Kamara is every bit as good as McCaffrey. Well, if McCaffrey gets 16, you got a problem if you think your guy is as good as Christian McCaffrey. The problem is they don't use him the way the Panthers use McCaffrey. So at some point, somebody's got to convince Kamara, you're not going to burn bright for a short period of time like McCaffrey. You're going to be around longer. You're going to make more maybe over the course of your career than McCaffrey, because we're not overusing you. And so it's better to accept a lesser amount because you're going to play longer at a lesser amount. You're going to be used less than a guy who is used to justify top of the market money.
Right.
And I think that's how they're trying to work this through, to get Kamara to understand why he's not at or close to the Christian McCaffrey level financially.
Yeah, well, I hope he does understand that. I mean, that's what I had always kind of heard through the process, is that's where the asking number, the negotiations started, was the Christian McCaffrey number. No, that's not going to happen. First off, Alvin Kamara is an awesome player. Kamara is an awesome player. We know that. Is he Christian McCaffrey? Absolutely not. And also, is he as vital to the success of the New Orleans Saints as Christian McCaffrey is? No, absolutely not. The Saints, as great as Alvin Kamara is, hey, Sean Payton, he can get a lot of people open. There's Michael Thomas there. There's, of course, Drew Brees, Jared Cook. There's other supporting system. Most base-level fans, when you just go Carolina Panthers, they just go, oh, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, yeah, Teddy Bridgewater, but he's not like a major – he's in a prove-it part of his career right now. DJ Moore at receiver. So the whole team is based around Christian McCaffrey. That's different than what Alvin Kamara is asked to do there with New Orleans, even though he's a very important part. Now, yeah, McCaffrey blows it out of the water. McCaffrey's doing special things. I think he's clearly the best running back in football. Now you start to look at it, okay, who are the other guys in that conversation? And to me, I don't think it's coincidental that this came out on a day where we saw Joe Mixon get a new contract either. I would think that threw a little bit of a wrench into things, or whether Alvin Kamara liked Joe Mixon's contract or thinks he deserves to be paid significantly more. I don't know. But what I would argue is if he's getting anything north of Joe Mixon, I would say take it, Alvin Kamara. Take it. That's just the way it is. The market is weird right now. Derrick Henry for the Tennessee Titans signed for less money than CJ2K did. What was that, 9 years ago at running back as far as year to year goes? So the running back market is in a weird spot right now. And I hope, Alvin Kamara doesn't box himself into a corner here where, he puts himself in the doghouse in New Orleans a little.
And the way that this all exploded in the last 24 hours and it started, I think it was Schefter who said there were unexcused absences and Kamara was going to be fined for it. Right. I've heard that's disputed. I've heard he's been fined $200,000. I think there are reports to that effect. There's even scuttlebutt that he and Sean Payton, the head coach, got into it. Not physically, not Latrell Sprewell style from years ago, but
some
arguing. They had some sort of an argument. And I don't know what's true and what's not true. I'm just telling you what people are talking about. But it all came out of nowhere. It's amazing. But now the way that the dust settled by the end of the day, and maybe this is something that just had to happen, by the end of the day, back at the table, working on a deal with the goal of getting the deal done by Monday. And there's a degree of confidence from people in the know that despite all of this stuff, despite all the stuff that went on, they're going to get something done by Monday. And I think you're right, Chris. Joe Mixon gets $12 million a year. That's the floor for Alvin Kamara,
right.
but where's the ceiling?
Yeah.
The ceiling's McCaffrey. He's not getting to McCaffrey.
No way.
He wants more than Mixon. And if McCaffrey's at 16 and Mixon's at 12, isn't this easy? Just give him 14. Give him 13, 13.5, something. Put some incentives in there that would get him north of 14 based upon playing time, based upon performance. There's a way to massage this to make it life-changing money for Alvin Kamara, and also to reflect the way the team feels about him, but also to reflect the extent to which the team uses him, because they don't use him the way that McCaffrey is used, and that's a benefit long-term to Alvin Kamara's career.
Yeah, well, I think, what you said is correct to me. That's the way I kind of see it. Anything north of Joe Mixon, I think should be good for Alvin Kamara. Listen, let's be totally honest. Who would you rather have at running back, Joe Mixon or Alvin Kamara?
Well, Alvin Kamara, but I would use him like Joe Mixon.
It's different.
Right?
I know. I would probably sit here and tell you that I think Joe Mixon's probably a more talented running back, and they're kind of a different animal altogether. Joe Mixon's a bigger guy, a beast. I mean, he is thick and powerful looking. Alvin Kamara, you and I have seen him before. Yeah, he's got some muscle, but he's more of the variety of that third down in between type running back. I hope I'm explaining that the correct way.
You said yesterday he's their best between the tackles runner, and they have Latavius Murray.
He is. There's no doubt. I'm not trying to downplay the importance of Alvin Kamara and how good of a damn player he is. I'm truly not. I'm just trying to flush out this conversation as far as the money and where he stands in this, and I think that's what I'm getting down to. I think you just got to be happy to anything above Joe Mixon, and I think the Saints, they probably realize, hey, to save face, Alvin Kamara, the things he's done for our team, we've gone to the playoffs, we got to pay him a little more than Joe Mixon. And then, of course, Derrick Henry at 12.5. The ones that are confusing the conversation, I would expect, too, is the David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell contract. That's where I'm sure Alvin Kamara is looking at that going, wait, but they're north of $13 million a year, and I'm better than them, and that is for damn sure. He's better than they are. But, yeah, David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell were fortunate to get two teams that were kind of stupid and giving him a contract that was a little too expensive.
And this is the key with running backs, and this is what I tell people, agents, people from teams, and yes, some of them do talk to me from time to time, basically because they need some janitorial work done. But the reality is running backs get paid for what they've done,
yes,
not for what they're going to do.
Right.
That's the danger.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell isn't worth $13.5 million per year right now, but he was at some point.
Exactly.
Right? David Johnson isn't worth $13 million per year now, but he was at some point, and that's what teams are trying to avoid, and that's why, a Dalvin Cook, right?
Right.
Why won't the Vikings make him a huge offer? Because the Vikings see the Le'Veon Bell contract. They see the David Johnson contract. They see the Todd Gurley contract. How many of these long-term, big-money running back contracts are done by the team, and a year later, they wish they had never done it, right? They regret it already.
Right.
And you get boxed into a corner. And, that's why Derrick Henry did the deal that he did to stay in Tennessee. You only get big money from the team that drafted you and the team that saw you become a star, because that fan base demands that the guys stay with the team.
Right.
And you're signing the guy to placate your fan base. It's a customer service move.
Right.
That's what it is. And that started with Sean Alexander. It continued with LaDainian Tomlinson. And that's when, about that same time frame, now Tomlinson continued to earn it, but that's that same time frame where you see Sean Payton go to New Orleans. He's got Reggie Bush, but that's fine. I've got Deuce McAllister. I've got Pierre Thomas.
Right.
I'm going to start rotating these guys so there's no one guy that I get backed into a corner and have to pay huge money to. And now, after all these years, Sean Payton is on the brink of having to pay more than he wants to pay to a running back.
Yeah, no, he is. That's why we see teams do running back committee, to your point, and it's why you're right. New Orleans, look at the New England Patriots. Hey, James White, he's really good. Do I think he's a superstar? No, but they know, hey, we're creative, we're smart. This guy's smart too, and he's got some skills, of course, that we'll make it look better than maybe he really is because we'll game plan and design and do things that way too. So you're right. That's, to me, the more popular way of addressing the running back position in the modern-day NFL because we know how brutal the position is. It is a short shelf life. The one thing I'll say, that I'm happy to see is the owners are stepping up a little bit as far as the running back position and not like holding their feet to the fire until it's year 5 or year 6 to where it's like, okay, this guy, yeah, give him some money even though his body's beat to death and it's coming to an end as far as his career. I do like the recent trend of what we saw with Ezekiel Elliott and giving Jerry Jones a lot of credit for that. And these deals being done after the
he had
third
to go
year.
to Mexico for a month to hold. He had
I know.
to draw a line in the sand and disappear to get his money. They didn't do it out of the goodness of their heart.
Well, either way, he took care of them, and at least they're entertaining it more, is what I'm saying, in year 3 than anything before. We used to not see that, and that used to bother me, and I do think that's changed just a little bit.
Remember what we said, though, last year before Ezekiel Elliott held out? We said now is the time to make your stand because the offense could change this year. Yeah. The pendulum could swing toward the passing game. And what happened last year with the Dallas offense? And what's going to happen this year with Mike McCarthy there, right? So the thing is, you've and I think that's the fair way to do it because it's not appropriate. It's not right for a team to be able to take a running back, especially in round 1, where you have the 5th-year option. You can keep the guy for every game of that first contract through 5 seasons.
Yep.
You can franchise tag him for a year, and then you just walk away. You got your 6 years out of him. He's a running back. He's used up by that point. No, we're not paying you, and the market's not going to pay you. That's exactly what happened to Melvin Gordon with the Chargers.
Exactly.
With the exception of the franchise tag.
Right.
They chewed him up on a 5-year deal. They didn't want to pay him. He held out last year, and the Chargers said, we're not, why? We're not doing this. We'll keep Austin Eckler. We'll pay him a hell of a lot less money. I mean, that's the thing, folks. And again, they don't like to peel that curtain back. They don't like you to see the man behind the curtain. They don't want you to understand that at the core, it's a business. Football is business. And there's no position where the business realities are more important than running back because most of these big contracts are lifetime achievement awards. And now we're seeing guys taking a stand after 3 seasons. When the window opens on a contract, that's when they say, pay me. And that's what Kamara's doing. That's what Mixon did. Remember last week he was missing practice with migraines? Yeah, it turns out they were migraines.
Yeah.
Mixon held in. Mixon got paid. Kamara apparently holding in. He's going to get paid. And that's how you do it because if you wait too long, what's going to happen? You're going to have a year or 2 under that new contract. They're going to tear it up and throw it away because by then you're not earning it.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, that's why these running backs got to draw a line in the sand to what you said to make these things happen. And I got total respect for Alvin Kamara and what he's doing here. Yeah, he's got to take care of himself, his body. He's been banged up already. We know that. And, as we talked about yesterday, he does have leverage from the sense of he is, again, not Christian McCaffrey to his offense, but really important to his offense. And not just that because he's a talented player, but there's a true scheme need for that type of player there. And I know they got Ty Montgomery behind him, and I'm sure he'll be pretty good at doing some of that stuff too. But he ain't Alvin Kamara. And, Sean Payton's, he's stuck with this one. He got a guy that he really liked. He fed him the ball. Stats say it. Fantasy world loves him. Team wins. Fan base gets behind it, just like you talked about. And now they go, wait, we can't win without him. He needs to be a mainstay. And the team gets boxed into a corner and has to pay him. And, I got no problem with that. The big thing is to me, Mike, where do you think, what do you think the money he'll finally settle on? I mean, realistically, is he going to be happy if he gets 12.5, like just Derrick Henry, or he'll be happy in between Derrick Henry and a Joe Mixon, or does he want more than that and this goes on for a little bit longer?
I have a feeling that it's going to be closer to Mixon and Henry than McCaffrey, but there may be some terms in there that will, at first blush, create the impression that it's a better deal than it is, right?
Gotcha.
The ego creeps into it, and we see some fluff that gets built into deals, whether it's for the agent's benefit when it comes to using that deal to recruit new clients, or whether it's the player who just wants to be able to say, I got paid like so-and-so, even when you scratch the surface and you realize he didn't really get paid like that guy, but it's part of that process of saying, I got paid like that guy.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.